Hi guys, welcome to the week 24 spiral corrections video. As always, make sure if you miss something that you're making a full correction with all of the work and not just the answer. Monday, the ordered pairs 1, 4, 3, 12, and 5, 20 represent the distance y that Hiro walks after x seconds. Plot the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane and draw a line through the points. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to find the slope of the line and explain what the slope represents. My hint for this is you can find the slope by using the slope formula, or you can write the relationship of x and y as y over x, which is also known as the unit rate, the constant of proportionality, the constant ratio. So first thing, choose the selection that represents the slope. Second part, choose the explanation of what the slope represents. So I went ahead and I plotted my ordered pairs. As you can see, 1 and 4, 3 and 12, 5 and 20. So your graph should look something like this. In regards to the slope, what I did is used y2 minus y1. In other words, the change in y divided by the change in x. I substituted my values, so 12 minus 4 is 8, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 8 over 2 can be reduced to 4 over 1, which is the slope. So putting this in context, 4 represents the distance traveled, and 1 represents the second, so it represents 4 feet traveled every 1 second. Tuesday. 2 weeks ago, Audrey earned $84 for 7 hours of work. This week, she earned $132 for 11 hours of work. Find the numerical value of the slope of the line that represents Audrey's earnings. So my hint is, remember, slope is unit rate. So you could find the unit rate, or you can use the slope formula to figure out what it is. So the answer is 12 over 1. So I wrote these as ordered pairs. Remember, the unit rate is y compared to x. And so $84 for 7 hours would be 7, 84. And then the next one would be 11, 132. And then I substituted my values. 132 minus 84 is 48, and 11 minus 7 is 4, and you can divide by 4 and get 12 over 1. Another thing you could have done is if you wrote the unit rates and then reduced by dividing by the denominator, you would have arrived at the same answer as well. Wednesday. Emily earned $4,410 working 3 months during her internship. Interns work 21 days each month. Part A. Find the unit rate of dollars Emily earned per day. So my hint for this is you're told how much she earns per month and that each month is 21 days. So my hint is, first you have to see how many days she worked in 3 months and then find the unit rate. Part B. Joe was paid $5,880 for 4 months of work and says that he has a higher rate than Emily. Is Joe's claim correct? Justify your response. So for this next part, you're going to choose if he's incorrect or correct, and also with that answer will be an explanation. So you want the right combination of incorrect or correct and why it is incorrect or correct. So for part A, finding the unit rate of dollars she earned per day, down here, part A, you could see that first thing I had to do is I had to take the 21 days they work and multiply it by 3. So that's 63 days. And I put money on top because money always goes on top. To make it a unit rate, I divided by 63 and got that she gets $70 per day. Second part, what I did is, again, did the same conversion. I can't just put 5,880 over 4 months because you have to take account for the days. So 21 days times 4 months is 84 days. And I divided by 84 days and got 7 days a week. Or I'm sorry, $70 a day. So Joe's incorrect because they make the same rate per day. Thursday, a homeowner plans to turn a dirt yard into a lawn. The graph illustrates the relationship of pounds of grass seed needed to the square footage of a yard being planted. Select whether each statement is true or false. My hint for this is remember that when we are looking at proportional relationships, we're looking at the relationship of y over x. So the relationship of square feet, which is y, over the pounds. So for the first one, true or false? The unit rate shown in the graph is 1 pound of grass seed for every 125 square feet of yard. The line represents a direct variation because it passes through the origin. The unit rate can be determined by finding the point x, 1. A new type of grass seed has the unit rate of 1 pound to 200 square feet, which is twice the unit rate of the grass seed shown in the graph. The line for the new type of grass seed passes through 4,800. First question, the unit rate shown is 1 pound of grass seed for every 125 square feet of yard. So our coordinate for the first one is 1,125. And when we're comparing the unit rate, we write y over x. So 125 over 1 is correct. The second thing says the line represents a direct variation because it passes through the origin. Again, remember in this chapter we've talked about how different words mean the same thing. Unit rate, it all boils down to unit rate. Slope, direct variation, constant rate of change, all of those mean the unit rate, so that one is true. Next one, the unit rate can be determined by finding the point x, 1. That's not correct, that's false, because if we're writing the unit rate, again, it's comparing y over x. So for that to be true, we would want to see where 1 corresponds with the x coordinate, and then y would be whatever value, and that would give us the unit rate. The next one is also false, because if you write the relationship, well, I started with my unit rate of what this graph shows, 125 to 1. If I want to show twice of that, then I would multiply each numerator and denominator by 2, and I get 250 over 2, and not the 200 square feet for 1 pound. And then the last one is true, because if the line for the new type of grass seed passing through 4 over 800, so the new grass seed is that 200 square feet to 1 pound, and if you multiply that by 4, you will get 800 over 4. Congratulations, we've made it halfway through the spiral. Since it is my sister, Mrs. Stewart's birthday this week, I decided to include a picture. So here's me, and there's Mrs. Stewart, who teaches 6th and 7th grade English at our school. Turn the page, make sure you have the following problems in front of you. Again, guys, full corrections will need to include the work that goes along with it. Number 1, Sarah looks closely at 2 fish tanks. Tank A has a base that is 26 centimeters by 25 centimeters and a height of 15 centimeters. Tank B has a base that is 25 centimeters by 24 centimeters and a height of 18 centimeters. So the first thing you're going to choose is which tank has a greater volume. So go ahead and find the volume of each tank. Choose which one has the greater volume. The second part of this problem is to choose how much greater is the bigger one. So we're wanting to find the difference, so subtraction will be involved. Okay, so here I have tank A, tank B, length times width times height. I multiplied the three values and got 9,750 centimeters cubed. Tank B, same thing, length times width times height, and I got a volume of 10,800 centimeters cubed. So tank B has the greater volume. Second part, we want to know how much greater. So when you're asked how much greater, how much bigger, that means what's the difference? Difference means subtraction. So I subtracted and got 1,050 centimeters cubed. Number 2, find the volume. Volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. 20 times 8 times 16 gives you 2,560 centimeters cubed. Number 3, find the volume of this triangular prism. Again, remember by starting to write the formula. Formula I used for triangular prism, base times height divided by 2. So we want to find the area of the base and then we multiply it by the height of the prism. So I did 4.5 times 5 is 22.5 and I divided that by 2 and got 11.25. So that's the area of the base, but then I need to bring it to the third dimension by multiplying by the height. And when I multiply by 8, I get 90 cubic centimeters. Number 4, find the volume. So volume of the cylinder was new this week. As you've realized, hopefully, with volume is we're taking the area of the base and to bring it to the third dimension, we multiply by the height of the figure. So it's pi r squared times height. So I first substituted my values, but notice right here, I didn't put 30 squared because 30 is not the radius. I have to divide by 2 first and I get 15. 15 squared is 225. And when I multiply them, I get 16,956 millimeters cubed. Number 5, a farmer has left you his silo, a 120-foot high cylinder with a 15-foot diameter, and he has told you that it's 65% full of feed. What is the volume in cubic feet of the feed in the silo? All right, so let me start you off. Here's the cylinder. That's the silo. And it has a 15-foot diameter. And it is 120 feet high. So you're going to want to find the area of this. Hint, we need to do something to the diameter first. Second part of it though, we're not just finding the area, it's very important that you're finding 65% of the cylinder. Remember what the word of means and what we might need to change that percent to first. Okay, so I started by finding the volume of the cylinder, pi times the radius squared. When I went to substitute my values, notice 15 is the diameter, so I needed to divide that by 2. And when I divide by 2, I get 7.5. So 7.5 times 7.5 is 56.25. I multiplied them all together and I got 21,195 feet cubed. But there's the second part. We want to find 65% of this. So of means to multiply. I changed the percent to a decimal and multiplied. So your correct answer is 13,776 0.75 square feet. Actually, cubic feet. Number 6, find the volume of the triangular prism. Triangular prism, base times height divided by 2, bring it to the third dimension by multiplying by that height. So substituting my values, the base is 4, the height is 6. You don't need that 7 right there. I did 4 times 6 divided by 2, which is 12, and 12 times 12 is 144 cubic centimeters. Congratulations, you have completed your corrections for the week 24 spiral. I'm ending with a picture of PJ when I think he was 10 months old. Just classic PJ, so cute, looks like a teddy bear. And just one more of him from the other day because I thought it was cute. Make sure you turn in your correction paper to your teacher. Good news, you're gonna have a little break from spirals because of the 3-day weekends coming up and some other stuff we're doing in class. So I will see you guys, same place, a couple weeks from now. Bye.